Dota 2 has not received the balance patch since August, and it's fair to say that the meta has gotten a bit stale. And by that I mean one of my friends decided to rename himself to Sven PA Spec equal noob. The good news is we are likely to receive a patch within the next couple of weeks, or months, or years. I mean, who knows, it's Valve, right? But before the game becomes unrecognizable with the new balance patch, perhaps you want to grind out some MMR from the carry role. Well, I got you guys covered because today I'm bringing you the top 5 carries of patch 7.27D, so you guys can play them before they inevitably get nerfed in a couple of weeks. But before I go into the specific heroes, I want to go over some particular aspects of the patch that make these heroes as good as they are. So one of the major factors that determines what carries are good in any given patch is the delicate balance between the offlane and the carry matchup. In any given patch, typically one role will be favored over the other. In other words, typically in any patch, the carry will normally win the lane or the offlaner will normally win the lane, or it can be relatively even. And I would say that the current patch favors offlaners pretty heavily. Not saying that's impossible for carries to win their lane, but more often than not, carries will be unable to lane once the patch's strong offlaners get their ultimate abilities. This is especially true with heroes like Slaughter and Mars, two of the strongest offlaners in the patch. And this sort of skew where offlaners will normally win their lane makes traditional lane dominating carries like Clinks or Razor, Slarks, these type of heroes, they're very unfavorable in the current patch, because if you're not going to win your lane even if you pick the strongest laning carries, it would be a much better idea to just pick a hero that can leave the lane and farm jungle if necessary if you are losing the lane. But at the same time, even though carries will normally lose their lane, it's very hard to take high ground in the current patch without farming a very large gold lead after taking Roche. For that reason, the most popular carries of the patch have 3 things in common. Number 1, they're able to farm jungle even if they lose their lane. Number 2, they have some ability to take Roche. And number 3, they have a very strong presence in the mid and late game, generally relating to a mid-game item timing. With that being said, let's go over the top 5 best carries in patch 7.27D. Number 5 is going to be Juggernaut, and the reason Jug is on this list is because he's probably the most generically viable hero of the patch. He's just a very stable pick, and it's very rare that a Juggernaut pick is going to be game losing. He's always at least decent. Juggernaut is also one of the best partners for Magnus, which is a rather overpowered hero in the current patch. Empower just allows him to go for a straight Mask of Madness, skipping Battle Fury, and farm up the Storm. But if he doesn't have a Magnus, he can also just go the Battle Fury build and be a strong hero in the mid and late game anyways. Number 4, Faceless Void. Faceless Void is perhaps the carry on this list that will most rarely lose his lane. His fantastic base damage along with Time Walk allowing him to shrug off enemy spells makes it very hard to shove him out of lane entirely. But in the event that he's just having an awful game, he always has the option of greeting out a Mask of Madness or a Battle Fury and farming jungle, and of course is another fantastic partner for the very balanced Empower hero. As well, Void has very good matchups against some of the other meta carries such as the aforementioned Juggernaut, Phantom Assassin, and Lifestealer. Number 3, Phantom Assassin. Phantom Assassin is perhaps the hero with the best Magnus pairing in the game. She has massive damage as well as blur, so she can literally just blur with Empower and hit creeps even at early levels without the creeps being able to hit her. It's extremely strong, and because she has Empower, she can skip Battle Fury to get an extremely accelerated Desolator and BKB timing, and sometimes when she has a Magnus, she'll even go for a smaller item that helps her farm faster and makes her power spike hit even harder. I've seen people go Mask of Madness, Echo Saber, Drums of Endurance. Just crazy combo. Absolutely, Magnus PA is the most brain dead combo of the patch. But I mean, even without Magnus, Phantom Assassin still excels by being able to jungle with blur if she loses her lane. Obviously, her late game, being able to jump on supports from halfway across the map with Abyssal is extremely strong. And she's one of the best heroes that's able to greet out a Battle Fury because she can farm lanes safely under the cover of blur, even if she just has like a Glove of Haste plus a Claymore. Number 2, Sven. Sven is the definition of being a good laning hero, but being able to catch up in the jungle no matter how bad his lane is. He's also perhaps the patch's best abuser of Mask of Madness, allowing him to efficiently farm the jungle indefinitely with max cleave and spamming God Strength off cooldown until he has his first major items. Sven also might have the most broken power spike of any carry in the game, that being his level 20 minus 5 second Stormhammer cooldown talent, coupled with his Aghanim Scepter, which allows him to jump on anyone from 1100 range every 7 seconds and just rip them apart with his insane damage and crits. And the most broken carry of patch 7.27D is... it's Spectre. It's Spectre. I was trying to be hype about it, but it's obviously Spectre. Spectre is sitting at a 56% win rate despite being the 12th most picked hero in the game. She has virtually no bad matchups except from the occasional cheesy Chen or Lycan push strategy, and her new skill build that players are opting for, going the max dispersion and blade mail before boots build. It makes her incredibly hard to kick out of lane, as well as accelerates her jungle farm because creeps literally just kill themselves trying to attack her. It also allows her to be relevant in the early game team fights with just a blade mail, which is, pretty amazing for what is considered to be the hardest carry in the game. And of course, as we all know, once it gets around to late game, aside from maybe a Phantom Assassin with multiple Divine Rapiers, almost nothing can even come close to Spectre's power. And players have even been skipping Radiance in favor of going Manta style right after their blade mail, which allows Spectre's team to more easily take Roche, and that's sometimes considered to be a weakness of the hero. So it kind of seems like the stars just aligned for Spectre. We're in a patch that heavily favors late game heroes, and if there ever was a late game hero, it's Spectre. And even her early game is not as bad as it used to be because of the blade mail dispersion build. So this really has made her the best carry in the game, bar none. So if you guys liked this video or found any of the tips helpful, please smash like and subscribe. My wife told me if I do not start getting Jake Paul numbers, she is going to leave me for a man with higher MMR and more subscribers. So please guys, my marriage is hanging on by a thread. Please smash like, and I will see you next time.